Hi, my name is Shamont Hussey, and I am a proud Gator, graduate of San Francisco State, MSW TitleIV-E program, class of 2010. I am currently, well, let's say I've worked 5 years with a local child welfare agency here in the Bay Area, and am currently a child custody recommending counselor with Family Court. When I think about what called me or brought me to the work of child welfare, takes me back to the little me, young me. I grew up and I witnessed and experienced social services within my family and community, and I saw family and community members enter the system in crisis, and in some cases experiencing more harm, pain, and injustice within the public service systems that they went to for relief. The first social worker I saw and heard talking to my family was, I can see an image of this worker, rude, disrespectful. Even at that young age, I knew there had to be a better way to support families in need, and I wanted to learn how. So when I entered the Title IV-E program at San Francisco State, I had been working in the community as a case manager and youth worker for nearly 10 years. The Title IV-E program offered me a path to learn more about social services and how the child welfare system works overall, right? They, the Title IV-E program at San Francisco State emphasized the importance of research, uh, evidence-based practice, while looking and thinking critically about what it is and what isn't being researched, right? And so who is doing the research, who's seated at the table, whose voice is the loudest, and what voices are not heard. As an intern in the Title IV-E program, I was connected with caseworkers and advocates who have been doing the work for years, pushing for a shift in the agency's approach to serving and valuing families. They gave me such rich and complex experiences that continue to influence my practice today. As I think back, oh, the life of a child welfare worker. What what was my day to day like? I'm gonna start by, that was a question that was on my mind. I'm gonna say, first thing about the child welfare worker's workday is that it's busy from start to finish. And it's important that you get used to having an endless to-do list. And being okay with not getting to everything at the end of the day. For 3 years, I worked as a family reunification worker, and my day, started with meeting parents in the community to work on their case plan goals, meeting with youth in their schools or programs to work on their individual goals, and coordinating and facilitating visits between parents and their children in an effort to reunify between siblings that may have unfortunately been separated. And so that was like the flow of the day. And by the end of every day, I had an endless list of case notes and report writing. So that's kind of like a day in the life of a child welfare worker. In reflecting on the pros and cons of being a child welfare worker, I would say the start is that CPS, child welfare, is a system and a tool that we have to protect children from abuse and to support parents in crisis. There are great people who have done and are doing amazing work within our systems, and that system is flawed, and that system at times does harm. Even within the child welfare system, even in an effort to protect children within the child welfare system, the process of removing a child or investigating and entering the life and community of a child or family is disruptive and can be harmful. What we weigh as child welfare workers is, does the act to prevent child abuse outweigh the potential harm or negative impact experienced by a family or child entering our system? For some of us that have worked in the system and are currently working in the system, it may be difficult to admit the system's flaws, the history of oppression, systemic racism that contributes to the disproportionate representation of minority youth and families within our system. Still, reconciling and being accountable about that history and that current practice is invaluable. And it's difficult though, right, to settle and to reconcile with that in our work. But looking at that and using that to continue to shift our practice and the system in a way that always genuinely values families and communities served. Those are my pros and cons. I miss the work, and I love and encourage the challenge of continuing to find out how to do it effectively.